You want to know why waking up early is such a game changer? It's not just about having more hours in the day. It's not about productivity hacks or joining some 5 a.m. club because it sounds cool on social media. It's about how your brain works. It's about science. And if you understand the biology behind it, you stop seeing waking up early as a punishment and start seeing it as the biggest advantage you've been ignoring. Let's talk about the brain, specifically your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for decision making, focus, problem solving, and willpower. Neuroscience proves that this part of your brain is most active and sharp within the first few hours of waking up. You're wired to be clearer and more alert early in the day. That's how your system is built. But if you roll over, grab your phone, and flood your mind with distractions first thing in the morning, you're wasting that natural window of clarity your brain was designed to give you. Think about that. Your brain literally gives you a head start every single day, and you're sleeping through it. Or worse, scrolling through it. Waking up early isn't just about getting up, it's about getting ahead. When you rise before the world gets noisy, your mind is uninterrupted. You're not reacting to other people's problems. You're not drowning in texts or emails. You're not being pulled in 100 directions. You're just you. And in that moment, your brain has the highest potential for focused thought, for deep work, for creative breakthroughs. It's what psychologists call cognitive priming. What you feed your brain first thing in the morning actually primes your mental state for the entire day. If you spend your early morning in quiet focus, journaling, planning, exercising, reading, your brain stays more focused and calm for the rest of the day. But if you spend that time reacting to texts, news, social media, you're training your brain to be distracted. You're teaching it that external chaos comes before internal clarity. That becomes your pattern. That becomes your norm. You've got to treat your morning like prime real estate because biologically, that's exactly what it is. That's when your cortisol levels are naturally elevated, giving you energy. That's when dopamine levels are more stable, helping you feel motivated and engaged. That's when your mind is clean before the clutter of the day settles in. So why would you waste that biological edge on something meaningless like an Instagram reel or a Twitter scroll? Here's the truth. Successful people aren't just disciplined, they're strategic. They know when their mind is most powerful and they use that time to work on what matters most, not on tasks, not on errands, on goals, on clarity, on vision. Waking up early gives you the space to align with your intentions before the world starts pushing its agenda on you. This isn't about becoming a morning person. This is about becoming a disciplined person. Anyone can be one. It starts by understanding your body's rhythm, by recognizing that your brain gives you a short window of excellence, of sharpness, of strength, and choosing to use it instead of waste it. The worst part, most people never even feel that clarity because they never give themselves a chance to. They're waking up too late, rushing through their mornings, reacting to everything, and wondering why they feel overwhelmed before noon. It's not bad luck. It's bad timing. It's biological resistance because you're working against your brain instead of with it. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. to change your life, but you do need to stop treating your mornings like a warm-up round. You need to stop giving away your most powerful brain hours to things that don't move you forward. Whether it's 5, 6, or 7 a.m., set a time that works for your rhythm and honor it, defend it, use it. Your mind is your most powerful tool. It deserves your best hours. Don't waste them. Waking up early gives you access to that power. And once you've felt it, once you've experienced the clarity, the calm, the control, you'll never want to go back. because you'll finally realize the real edge isn't in working harder. It's in waking up smarter. What you do in the first 30 minutes of your morning has the power to shape your entire day. Most people don't realize this. They treat their mornings as an afterthought, rushing out of bed, checking their phones, gulping coffee, maybe skipping breakfast, and diving straight into chaos. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, unfocused, behind. It's not the day that's the problem. It's how the day started. Your morning routine is the foundation of your mindset, your energy, and your momentum. And when you waste those first few minutes, you set off a chain reaction that can derail everything that follows. Let's talk about momentum. You don't wake up motivated. Nobody does. Motivation is a myth when it comes to morning. What gets you out of bed is not a feeling. It's a system, a structure, a routine. That's what high performers understand. They don't wait to feel like doing something. They get up and do it anyway. And because they do, they start the day with momentum. They build trust with themselves, and that creates confidence, the kind that lasts through meetings, through setbacks, through distractions, because it started the second they got up and took control. Here's the science behind it. Habits and routines create patterns in your brain. When you start your day with intentional actions like making your bed, journaling, hydrating, stretching, or planning, you're activating the part of your brain responsible for organization, attention, and willpower. That part of your brain loves patterns. It thrives on consistency. And when you begin your day with just a few small wins, it interprets those wins as signals that you are in charge, that you are safe, that you can handle what's coming. This calms your nervous system and primes you for focus. Now, on the flip side, when you start your morning in a reactive state, grabbing your phone, checking social media, or diving into emails, your brain interprets that as threat detection. You're being pulled into problems before you've even decided who you want to be that day. And that puts your body in a low-level stress response before you've even brushed your teeth. Your cortisol levels spike, your attention scatters, and your mood is already out of your hands. That's not a solid start. That's chaos on autopilot. Your brain is listening to everything you do when you wake up. Every action is a signal. You're either telling yourself, I've got this, or you're telling yourself, I'm behind already. And the dangerous part, most people don't even know they're doing it because no one taught them that your routine isn't just what you do, it's what you believe. It's the evidence your brain collects about who you are. You want to build confidence? Keep promises to yourself. You want to stop feeling overwhelmed? Stop letting the world decide your schedule. Get up, take ownership of the first 30 minutes, and make it a ritual, not a race. I'm not saying your morning routine has to look like anyone else's. You don't need an ice bath, a 90-minute workout, or an elaborate green juice to be successful. That's noise. What matters is intention. Maybe your routine is as simple as waking up, drinking water, sitting still for 5 minutes, and writing down 3 things you want to focus on. That alone can create a massive shift in how your brain operates throughout the day because you're no longer reacting. Think about the first 30 minutes of your day like a steering wheel. If you grip it tightly with purpose, you guide the rest of the journey. But if you let go, if you let notifications, distractions, and other people's demands grab it, you're going to feel like a passenger all day long. And that's how people lose time, energy, and direction every single morning. So if you're tired of feeling like you're always catching up, change what happens right after you wake up. Don't rush. Don't react. Choose, plan, act. Because the first 30 minutes are more than just a routine. They're a declaration, a decision, a message to yourself and to the world. I'm in charge today. That's where real discipline starts. That's where confidence is built. And that's how every powerful, productive, purpose-driven day begins, with a morning that puts you in the driver's seat. The choice is yours every single morning. Every single morning, the moment you open your eyes, your brain starts asking for dopamine. That's the brain chemical tied to motivation, focus, and reward. It's the spark that drives you to get up, take action, and feel good doing it. But here's the catch. Your brain doesn't care where the dopamine comes from. It just wants that hit. And the easiest, fastest, laziest way to get it is by reaching for your phone. Notifications, texts, likes, videos, instant dopamine. But easy dopamine comes with a price. And most people are paying for it with their attention, their productivity, and their long-term motivation. The first thing you do in the morning wires your brain. That's not a motivational quote. That's neuroscience. When you start your day with a high dopamine activity, like scrolling social media or checking messages, you're telling your brain, this is the reward I want. And that becomes the standard your brain chases for the rest of the day. But here's the problem. Natural, meaningful rewards, like focusing on a task, solving a problem, or working toward a goal, don't deliver the same instant gratification. So your brain gets bored. It starts craving something quicker, easier, flashier. That's how you lose focus. That's how you sabotage your ability to sit still, stay consistent, and do the hard things that actually matter. Dopamine is not your enemy. It's a tool. It's the spark that helps you get things done. But like any tool, if you misuse it, it can turn on you. When you flood your brain with too much dopamine right away, especially from artificial sources, you desensitize yourself. You make it harder for your brain to feel motivated by normal activities. You start needing more stimulation just to feel okay. That's why people say, I can't focus today, or I feel unmotivated. It's not always mental burnout. Sometimes it's just dopamine overload. You're so used to quick hits that your brain has forgotten how to work for a reward. There's a phrase I use often, delay the dopamine. It's simple, powerful, and life-changing. When you wake up and choose to delay the quick hit, when you don't touch your phone, when you choose stillness, when you move your body, when you hydrate, when you journal or meditate or just sit in silence, you are training your brain to appreciate deeper rewards. You're rewiring yourself for discipline. You're creating space for natural motivation to rise. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't need noise or stimulation to feel good. That is a massive psychological advantage in a world built to distract you. Most people don't even know they're addicted to the scroll. They think it's just part of waking up, but when your brain is trained to expect stimulation the second you wake up, how do you expect it to stay focused on a task for more than 10 minutes later in the day? How do you expect to write that proposal, finish that book, or build that business when your brain is screaming for another hit of quick dopamine? You've got to stop feeding the beast first thing in the morning. That's when your brain is most pro-primitive and most vulnerable. You want mental clarity. You want long-lasting motivation. You want to be able to focus for more than a few minutes at a time. Then you have to take control of your mornings. You have to stop trading the long-term game for short-term hits. Instead of picking up your phone, pick up a notebook. Instead of refreshing your feed, take a deep breath and refresh your mind. Get outside, move your body, drink water, stretch. Write down one thing you're going to do today that actually matters. Do that for 5 days, then 10, then 30. Watch what happens to your focus. Watch what happens to your mood. Watch how your brain stops craving junk and starts craving progress. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You can still use your phone, just don't let it use you, especially not in the first hour of your day. That hour belongs to you, not to the algorithm. Delay the dopamine and you take back control. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop chasing distractions and start building discipline. And that is what separates people who drift through life from people who design it. One small choice made every morning, that's the difference. Every time you wake up when you said you would, you're not just getting out of bed, you're keeping a promise to yourself. That one action, as simple as it might seem, is actually one of the most powerful ways to build self-trust. Because confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you earn. And the way you earn it is by showing yourself over and over again that you can be counted on, not just when it's easy, not just when you feel like it, but especially when you don't. Discipline is not about being rigid or robotic. It's about showing up for yourself. And when you start your day with discipline, by waking up on time, by resisting the snooze button, by doing what you said you'd do, you begin your day with a win. And that win is everything. It creates momentum. It activates integrity. It builds the internal muscle of consistency. And over time, that consistency turns into identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles to get up in the morning and start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That shift changes everything. The snooze button is not just a button. It's a decision, a signal. Every time you hit snooze, you're practicing breaking a commitment. You're reinforcing the idea that your comfort matters more than your goals. That delay is acceptable. That avoiding discomfort is okay. And when you repeat that enough times, it becomes part of your wiring. You begin to question your ability to follow through in other areas, fitness, work, relationships. Because subconsciously, you've trained yourself not to believe your own words. That's the cost of hitting snooze. It's not about the extra 5 minutes. It's about the message you're sending yourself. Now flip that. Imagine waking up at the time you planned. No debate, no negotiation, just getting up and going. That small action, which takes less than 10 seconds, reinforces the belief that you are someone who does what they say they're going to do. That belief is the foundation of confidence. Because when you trust yourself, you don't need external validation. You don't need motivation. You have integrity. You have strength. You've built it through action, not words. Most people think discipline is about restriction, that it means saying no all the time. But the truth is, discipline is actually freedom. Because when you build discipline into your life, you no longer waste energy on indecision. You don't spend your mornings debating whether or not to get up. You don't start your day with guilt or regret. You move with clarity. You act with purpose. And that gives you energy to focus on the things that really matter. And let's be honest, there will be days you don't feel like it. Days you're tired, unmotivated, overwhelmed. That's normal. But the key is this. Don't make decisions based on how you feel. Make decisions based on who you want to become. Do you want to be someone who keeps promises? Who respects their own time? Who shows up even when it's hard? If the answer is yes, then you have to train for it. And that training starts first thing in the morning. There's a kind of quiet pride that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself. That no matter what life throws at you, you'll show up. That you don't back down when it gets uncomfortable. That you're not at the mercy of your feelings because you trained yourself to follow through anyway. That's real power. That's what builds unshakable self-respect. You don't need to wait for a breakthrough. You don't need to read 100 books or attend some motivational seminar. You just need to start by doing what you said you'd do. That's the blueprint. That's the path. One small promise, one small win, one morning at a time. So tomorrow, when that alarm goes off, remember this. You're not just waking up. You're practicing trust. You're practicing discipline. You're practicing being the kind of person you admire. And that's not just how you build a better morning, it's how you build a better life. The morning isn't just a time of day, it's your secret weapon. It's the only part of the day that truly belongs to you. Before the world starts asking for things, before the distractions come in, before your energy gets divided between 100 different responsibilities. And if you learn to protect your mornings, you learn to protect your priorities, you learn to create before you consume, you learn to respond, not react,